Welcome back to part 2 of a 10-part series of me talking about the Sound Advisors 833. Now, I joke, I'm not going to make this be a 10-part series, although maybe I shouldn't joking about that. Who knows, I might end up rambling on for, as I do like to talk about it. But yeah, I felt like that previous segment ended just like so perfectly as I was just talking about versus Nova. There was probably a good moment I could start a new video about that point and actually go to somewhere where I've got light for change and not be so dumb to start where, you know, the sun was setting. I mean, I don't know, what is it? I was thinking, I guess I was going to be fast enough that I was going to talk before the sun had set. Why on earth I'd be so delusional? I don't know. So yeah, now I've done a very smart thing, what I should have done before, pointing in the exact opposite direction on the other side of this small park, right underneath a street lamp. Perfect, I can now keep on talking until midnight. Or at least when this card runs out. It does unfortunately have this 30-minute limit. And yeah, so back to versus Nova. Why did I get the 833 instead? So one of the big factors I was saying is that when you look at the total cost, I mean, like Nova versus 833, there's not really much price difference between the two. But that's just from the recorder, and I really feel like if you're not, it's really defeating the purpose of buying Nova. You're missing out on so much if you don't fully leap in, feet first, into the entire ecosystem. And that total cost is going to be like, I haven't actually ran the exact numbers, but it'll be something I reckon north of 40k in New Zealand. It'll be significant. And yeah, if you own no Zaxcom equipment already, which I don't, aside from Zaxcom Max, which is obviously going to be part of useful for buying the Nova, aside from I guess already knowing my way around the menus beforehand. There's no practical benefit. But yeah, if you really own a Zaxcom, like I just actually rented out a couple of my Ultrasyncs to a guy who I met yesterday when he returned my Ultrasyncs, and he's saying, yep, he's selling his Nomad and other stuff so that he could buy Nova and jump on board on that. Absolutely, if you're already in the Zaxcom system, 110% jump, grab Nova, grab all the other extra bits and pieces you need. This is going to be the best thing since sliced bread for you. But just, yeah, for me, I mean, like I said, there are two approaches you could say here. One is where just get yourself a loan. It's a business investment, pay it off over the years. You can claim back interest from the tax deduction anyway. Yeah, but I just felt, for me personally, that wasn't a road I wanted to go down. And I guess I really like the fact that I could just walk in immediately the day that 833 arrived here in New Zealand and just plunk down and buy this in cash. I didn't need to borrow any money. I had everything. I could buy it instantly. Because, you know, less than $8,000, that's an achievable amount that a person can just buy, you know, for their business, for something that's their career. But 40k plus or whatever the number would be, that's trickier to say. And I know for myself, I have maybe a little bit of gear addiction syndrome, or GAS, G-A-S as we might say, or maybe a bit of a hoarder's inclination, and which is why I probably should sell off one of my recorders, and I've got so many, I don't need all of them. I mean, you definitely always need a backup, or even a backup, or keep one around for sentimental reasons, but don't keep that many. So yeah, I know that I have you know, an inclination to just sort of buy perhaps a little bit more than I need, and I'm always attracted to the next shiny toy. And so if I start going down the road where I'm borrowing money, I just feel like I'm going to really struggle to make that defining line between what is a smart business investment and what am I just really buying for myself. I mean, even this, to be fair, I justify it as a smart business choice. Oh yes, this definitely is the best thing ever. I need this, yeah. But yeah, I know in a certain level I am just buying it because I want the latest toy, and I'm going to enjoy using it, even though it will also make my life better on set. But yeah, it's a very blurring line in between, you know, what do I really need for the business versus what do I just want. And once you start borrowing money, I mean, I really struggle with, like, where is that line between need and want? And it'll just be so much more blurred and trickier for me to make the decision once I make a once I cross that line and decide to borrow money and get into debt for purchases. So just a personal line I personally don't want to cross. But if you personally feel like you're better at judging where that line is, and you feel like you're better at managing debt and finances, you don't need to take my personal approach, which is I just want to pay cash everything always and never ever borrow money. To take that approach instead. I mean, this is drifting into discussions about how to run your business. So anyway, so that's one reason why we went for the 833 over the Nova. Another reason would be, another approach you could do as to how to go fully into the Zaxcom ecosystem. It's really just buy the Nova now, and then you just buy the rest of the stuff in the ecosystem step by step. And so you spread it out over a couple of years or 3 years. So I'm still taking my approach of never borrowing money and never getting in debt, always buying cash for everything. But yeah, I don't like, because you're basically not crippling yourself, but you're not enjoying the full extent and possibilities of Nova for the first 3 years. And you know what, 3 years from now, who knows what else is going to come along, or at least you're only a couple more years away until 5 years. That's going to happen in another blink of the eye, and that's kind of like the lifespan of it, and there's going to be another amazing new product. So it doesn't feel like you're really making the best of your time usage if you're taking that approach. So that's one reason why I get Nova from the monetarial aspect. The other aspects, Zaxcom, I rather prefer that I can mix and match my ecosystems. I'm not stuck into just one company's ecosystem. I mean, from my past history, I used to be a programmer, software programmer, and my experience as being a software programmer really changed my viewpoints. I was working with a very proprietary language that was basically dictated, controlled by one company, Microsoft, and it really made me appreciate the benefits of open source, or at least more open standards. And so for sound devices, for instance, they support SuperSlot, which a whole bunch of different other companies have got SuperSlot devices like Electrosonics and Audio Techniques and Wizicom. I would just rather not have everything I own be only from one company. And then also there's the Zaxcom, the company itself. I really don't like their legal bullying they've done to other companies that's kind of held us back. Anyway, that wasn't like a big reason. It's just one of many little small reasons that all add up in my mind. And like I said, I've said it for a long time that the day the 633 Mark II comes out, I'm buying it. And this is a 633 Mark II, and it's in very much a 633 in every way, but just better and better. So for instance, one really big improvement is not using CF cards, thank you very much, anymore. That's an old standard that should die. Yeah, there's another thing about the Nova. Again, this is not the reason why I didn't buy the Nova. It's just one of those little tiny small things that all add up. Why is Nova using CF cards? We should be using SD cards, or at least, a more modern thing like CF Express or QXD or something. Anyway, so they've got dual SD cards here, and gets even better, they've got an SSD built into it. So you can basically, it's 256 gigs, and it'll be upgradable in the future as well, or replaceable, and just like with the 788T. And so you've now got triple media sources, which is extra peace of mind. And especially I like the fact that SSD, being from sound devices and internal, should be like super rock solid, because it has kind of disturbed me in the past the number of reports I read with media issues with sound devices. I mean, especially the Mix 3 series, but the 633, and they might harp on about, you're not using an approved media, but is it really? We're not talking about massive data bandwidth required here when you're writing audio tracks. And I've never had any problems ever with the F8, or even heard other people having problems with it, or my F4 beforehand. And it seems weird to me that sound devices had these issues with cards. And the really annoying thing is, people go like, you're not using an approved media. people are using approved media. They're even using not just approved media, but even the official sound devices cards. And people have still like reported issues with recordings. So it's nice to have dual card slots, but especially that internal SSD. Like if anything ever goes wrong, at least I've got that internal SSD that I would believe would have just another level of layer of security above and beyond what any external media we might be putting into it. So yeah, I'm really happy to see that in the 833. Yeah, what else can I say about it? Let's maybe just turn it on and just, yeah, turn it on for the first time. And I mean, apparently like the headphone port has been improved. Actually, I'm just remembering, this uses LEMO timecode. I might be missing that cable because I've got LEMO cables to go into an ARRI camera, but LEMO's only one way. Another cable I'm going to need to buy soon. It's a never-ending list of things. And we've got these two USB ports here on the side, so you can offload it directly, the SSD drive, to your computer via one of those, and you also use the USB with the hub. You can connect it to another USB hub, so you've got a whole bunch of more outputs, so you can connect more things. You can hook a keyboard up to it, you can connect to one of your fader panels. So I already own a fader panel that works with this, because I own the Behringer X Touch that I bought ages ago to use with my PC for when I'm doing audio editing stuff. And it's just a really cool, lucky coincidence, and I can use it with it. Although to be fair, I need to either like DC mod it or just buy the what do they call, the Icon Platform X M or M Plus, whatever, because that's DC powered and slim, and I think more appropriate for this. And that's a really great thing. It's so affordable. So again, this is it's about 500 US, no, 429 US for the Icon controller. And you can also buy extra accessories to it to expand it out to the side, the side one. Or you can buy another accessory that will add like LCD display on the top, which can show you more information on the fader board. So yeah, that's really, really cool. And I like that, again, going back to talking about open standards. So anything that supports, what's it called, the MCU or something with standard? So anything that supports that standard can actually just be hooked up to this. So you could add all kinds of weird and wacky boards to use. I mean, it's not going to be officially supported by sound devices. I mean, it's only this particular list of boards that they have said will work, and we'll make sure it works. Of which they actually added the CR12, their own one, and also saying they are going to bring out their own next generation for Scorpio 833 that I've custom built and designed. But the thing is, because it's an open design, you can use any other boards, even if they're unsupported. So if there's something particular you're looking for, maybe you want like a super miniature one with only like a few particular features to sit here on the top of your bag. Well, you can find a board that matches that. I mean, some other, like Jared looked around, I think found one that looks good and he might be trying it out. You can try that out and you can use it. If it works well for you, you can report to other users, other people can try it out. Or maybe some other specialized sound company, like, I don't know, Remote Audio or Sound Solutions or whatever, they might decide to make their own one for this, with, specially tailored for this market. And they can just, again, use it over this open standard that we've got. So again, I really like this. I mean, compare that to Nova. I think you can only use Oasis with it, or maybe you can use the Mix 16 as well. And the Oasis costs, which is the cheapest option, nearly as much as this entire recorder costs. So yeah, and again, you kind of like you don't have that freedom of it's not just a cost thing, you don't have the freedom of options, of choices. So I really do like a more open approach. Rambling on a bit. Let's go put these ones on the bottom and see this thing turn on. Oh yeah, I was just thinking, actually I might be okay with my cable. Even though it's one way, I could always just make my tentacle sync-y, be the master, send it in, jam it to this. Yeah, I should be able to survive with just the one LEMO cable I have for now until I buy more. Always buying more cables. It's insane how many cables I have. So yeah, you can see once you put these big ones, I was like, why did it turn on instantly? Yeah, I think because I was just fiddling with this while I was talking, and I'd actually left the on switch on, and it did all the, let's turn this on and off and just see for a second all the, oh yeah, that blue light is just indicating that the battery for the time code is still running, and now it's still flashing. So yeah, they're going to add some more firmware updates, I think, to control that better. Anyway, so let's look at it flash. Look at all those lights flashing. Oh, it looks so pretty. I can just sort of see it reflected in my Panasonic G6 screen that I've got flipped towards me, and I can see how many minutes I've got left talking on the card. Yeah, so at the moment I can see, for instance, SD1, SD2 is empty because I didn't think to bring a SD card with me other than one on my camera. But that's okay, we've got over 99 hours, no surprise. I mean, it would be way, way, way more than 99 hours when it's 256 gigs, especially with how many tracks I've got enabled. Yeah, over 99 hours on the SSD. And yeah. I'm just going to like randomly press things and feel things, and oh yeah, see, this is like another one of the nice changes that I feel they've done between the 633 and the 833 is they've actually given you a trim knob for all of the second half, well, that is 3 to 6. You know, they're giving you a trim knob for the 3 to 6 channels, because before they had like pan knobs instead, but like I don't really use pan in the heat of the moment, or when you set up panning at the start, and you might maybe change it a few times, but it's not something you're quickly grabbing and twisting, at least not for anything I do. But having direct access to pan and trim and fade is very useful. So I'm glad we now got it for all of these. And yeah, so we just got it now for the first 6, and unfortunately 8 requires a bit of menu diving. So this is what I was saying, like maybe someone in the future via this open standard through the USB port could just add a little small, tiny little control that we could clamp onto the top here, just so we've got 2 knobs here to change only 7 and 8. Without needing to menu dive again. That could be an awesome little accessory a person could make. So open standards is a good thing, and I'm looking forward to seeing how the Scorpio and 833 ecosystem, because basically Scorpio and 833 are basically the same machine, just different sizes, and 833 is a bit less I/O input output. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to seeing how the Scorpio and 833 ecosystem will grow, and I'm quite excited to, I'm going to be there from the start. And yeah, it's really nice, just like how in the 6 series and also on my 552, these other knobs that you don't need, you can pop them down out of the way. And just to listen to, and yeah, it's just it'll have lots of little improvements over the 633. Like some people complain about is they don't like the headphone amp in the 6 series. Like one of my friends did not buy the 633 and he went for the Sonosax SX R4 Plus. Simply, I don't think it was the only reason, but it was a really big factor. At least he didn't like how it sounded from the 633. And you spend all your days, all the time listening to the 633. Why not buy something that has a better headphone amp? And for me, that's not such a big deal breaker. I've been using the F8N after all, and the F4, so I'm willing to, so long as I hear enough so I'm able to do my job. Well, I don't need the luxury necessarily of a really nice sounding one, but yeah, it's nice that they've improved the headphone amp on the 6 series. Yeah, so anyway, this is something people have been talking a bit about. Is some people have been complaining about how channel 7 and 8 is just on a 3.5mm input, and they're like, oh, that's not a professional input. But to be honest, I bet it's going to be less hassle than channel 5 and 6 input was when I was using my Zoom F4 back in the day. Which I'd use this accessory thing on the bottom. I won't go into all of that. I'm actually kind of close to the train station of the entrance coming in there. I wonder if that train has been picked up on my lav. details. I get sidetracked so easily, don't I? So about that 7/8 input. Yeah, but the thing is, I'm not going to be using that often, but it's going to be really nice to be there when I do need it, and it's going to be safely protected in the bag. In fact, if I'm doing 7/8 channels, hopefully I'm not working from a bag, and it's probably got a little mini bag cart, a mini sound cart setup of sorts. And so again, I'm not going to be worried about stuff being bumped around and bashed about. And yeah, but still, come on, there's space here. They could have put a mini XLR, TA3 instead, but oh well, whatever. Yeah, so when Gotham did their unboxing, they're like, oh, there's no connection, it's just a little jack. But like other people have commented who've looked more carefully, and like I can see here, it does actually have threading around it. And additionally, this little thing on top, it's got two little nubs, so I feel like I could probably unscrew this and I'll have more thread to attach. So I think this could be a locking 3.5mm connection, just like a G3 transmitter or receiver is a locking 3.5mm connection that you can screw it tight. It really does look like that. And it's the same can be said about the X3, X4 outputs as well. So yeah, I mean, once it's locking is locking. Yeah, I don't think people have much to worry about, and I definitely should get a little mini screwdriver. Did it come with a mini screwdriver? Well, not a screwdriver, but it's, how do I describe it? It just has like two little like nibs or little cuts in the side of it that I feel like you could probably unscrew it, especially as you can see the X3, X4 and the return ones are slightly different angles, so it feels like they're meant to be screwed on. So if you unscrew them, that gives you even more thread to be able to hook it in. So anyway, that's just one observation that I've not heard anybody else mention about this before. Anyway, I feel like I could probably ramble on a lot more about this, but yeah, how about I just have a play around by myself in silence and do a shoot or two, and then I'll come back and give my main thoughts about this. But yeah, like here's another thing, for instance. So this has got a comms return, and it's not just a head from output, but a headset output. So you got extra pins here, like if you've got a microphone boom on your headphone, like with the new remote audio. I really like the H7506. They've bought a new version. It's got the boom ones, you can talk into it. So these kind of features allow this to be used in more of like a sound cart world, where you're working together with a boom op, and there's the sound department team working together, not just the E&G bag mixer guy running around. So yeah, so again, these are just little things that will, I mean, it makes it maybe a little bit more like what a 688 could do, although of course it's not a 688 and it's a different generation, but it's giving you illustrations of how it is just a little more step up from the 633. And so I must say the prices of the 633 have plummeted through the ground, it feels, since the 833 announcement. In fact, pretty much the same day it happened, you're seeing them sell for like barely over 2k American, so cheap. And that probably might even be a bigger regret of my own mind versus like regretting not buying the Nova, because yeah, of course I felt a bit of fear of missing out and not having got the Nova instead. But you know what, buying a 633 is such an insane price. I mean, I had said I was going to buy a 633 if I ever saw it at a really great price, or it's going to be getting the Mark II is the second that came out. And but no, I think they're each a few $1,000s. It is still something I could pay cash for comfortably and not feel any financial stress about buying the 833. I'm going to be using this every week, week in, week out, for hopefully years to come, if I can keep my gear addiction syndrome under control. And so again, when you look at the spread out cost over the years, yeah, absolutely the 833 is worth it over the 633. But yeah, maybe I'll pick up a 633 as my backup, hey? There we go. We should sell my F18 and my Max and then I can justify, yeah, no, that's, again, I can get sucked down into this gear addiction syndrome so easily, and that's why I should not borrow money ever to buy something. And on that note, I'm going to wrap this up and say, yeah, I'm really looking forward to using it very soon. And I'm going to have a very big play around with the menus, but I just feel if I start digging around much more, I'm just going to I'll just be staring at this or rambling a lot more than I normally am, and this video is going to just turn to garbage. And because I've read the manual several times, and I've read the Scorpio manual as well. But yeah, actually playing with it and seeing it in first hand and then going and using it on the sheet itself is completely different to reading a manual. So I'm looking forward to that. And on this, over and out, it is Friday night. It's time to go have a drink. See ya.